growing pains. That sounds like some sort of horrific thing your grandmother would tell you about. So, although they do exist when you are growing a lot, the things that I want to talk about today are Osgood Schlatter's disease and Sever's disease. Now, the minute you mention the word disease, you think, oh my word, this is something horrific, and that possibly your leg is going to drop off. There is no leg dropping off with Osgood's or Sever's. It is literally the bit where your tendon either attaches just below your knee, sometimes above your knee, and also to your heel. So the bit above your knee, by the way, is called Sinting-Larsen syndrome, which also sounds like something that you've definitely caught somewhere. But let's not get into all the technicalities of it. It's basically tendon attaching to bone. There's a little growth plate there, and that starts to pull. So why does this happen? Overload. Overload is the problem, okay? So what happens is that Johnny gets picked for the school cricket team and he loves cricket. So he goes to school cricket training every day, but he's also now been selected for Derbyshire. So then he goes to cricket nets at night. And so Johnny is bowling for 2 hours a day. And he also likes playing a little bit at lunchtime with his friends. And so suddenly there is so much load on his knee or his ankle or whatever it is that it can't cope. And this is more of a problem when you're growing a lot. So suddenly you've got like a little bit of a longer bone. And I know we're only talking like a centimetre or so, but actually it makes a big difference. And your muscle's grown, but it's not got enough strength in it because you've not been that height for long enough for it to be strong enough. It's really quite straightforward. So it's simply, there is too much load on the body size that you've got. Either that, or you've just been sitting playing PlayStation too much, and then you've decided that you want to do a sport. That is also a problem. So what can you do about it? First of all, if I had a child that was very sporty, I would be measuring them every week and they'd be rolling their eyeballs at me going, Mom, it's boring. I'm not growing that much. I'm telling you, if you pick a door frame for each of your children and just do a tiny little line, you will see that they are growing more than you think. And when they've done a big bit of growing, I would make them do less. Really quite straightforward. They're not strong enough for that new bigger body. Really easy. I would also keep a diary, which also sounds very boring, but a very easy way to understand how much load your child is undergoing is just by writing it down. Because actually, if you say to them when they come home from school, what did you do? And if they had PE and they were running around at lunchtime, that's already quite a lot. If you're about to take them off to football training, and the next day they've got a match, and then the day after that they've got another match and another training session, it's too much when they are growing that much. You're going to need to pick when they are training, pick their matches. You need to look at their rolling schedule of 7 days. So when I see people who've got some pain, I normally give them the 7-4-2 rule. Now, it's not perfect, I understand that. But what you need to do is, in any sliding scale of 7 days, you can only do 4 days of heavy loading on your tendons. So heavy loading is jumping, running, hopping, that sort of stuff. Stopping suddenly is a big problem. If they want to go to swimming, that's fine. If they want to ride the bike, that's also fine. I'm talking proper explosive stuff. And they can only do 2 consecutive days of heavy loading. So when their tendons are quiet, when they're not growing a lot, when everything's going okay, you can push it a little bit more. But particularly when they are flared up, when they are growing, and when things are just starting to be a little bit niggly, I would definitely roll in the 7-4-2 rule. I'd also make them ice every single time they did anything, and there's lots of arguments about ice, but you know what? It makes you feel better and it makes you recover better for the next day of torture. So I really hope this has been helpful. Today is Tuesday, and this is your tip.